That is the story of the day. We have it here for you on AMHQ Early. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jen Carfagno. It's a wet start to the weekend. About 30 million Americans under some type of flood advisory. It starts today. And in addition to the flooding, we've got thunderstorms bringing severe weather. Show you what we are dealing with here when it comes to the rain. We start with St. Louis, where for us, we've got about 5 to 7 inches of rainfall. Let me get out of the way so you can see that. That's an amazing forecast for rain, right? 5 to 7 inches of rain. Our monthly average for April is just over 3. So we're going to potentially go more than double that. Thunderstorms start tonight, continue right through the weekend and into overnight Saturday night into Sunday as well. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s. Dew points will be right up there as well. So a very humid atmosphere coming our way. Flood watches are up. Remember, here in Arkansas and Missouri, we just had some heavy rain 2 days ago. And now we're going to bring more storms back into the picture with heavy rain potential. Very slow moving, continuing for several days. It will be rounds of rain stretching from Oklahoma right up into Illinois, Arkansas, Missouri. You guys are right in the middle of this. It's a very wide area. When you look at the models, it's a very wide area where we are going to see potentially record-breaking amounts of moisture in the atmosphere when you look at all the layers. So what's going to work with that moisture? We'll take a look. We've got a big dip in our jet stream. There'll be some strong upper-level winds diving into that. You see how we've had this ridge over the east? That actually moves a bit east and stays put and blocks everything from moving too much. So we get stuck in this pattern of lots of moisture in the atmosphere. An old front just stays stuck right here. So a stalled boundary will help trigger showers and storms. Lots of moisture. And anytime there's a little pop of energy in the atmosphere, it will make it rain. So here we go. Starting later today with thunderstorm chances in Oklahoma and Arkansas and in Missouri, southern Illinois, southwestern Indiana. Look at tomorrow. It's a lot of the same areas. And even into Sunday, we're going to see that as well. I think I was overclicking since things were slow to move. So there we go. We're getting back to status here. This area, 3 to 5 inches of rain, widespread from Oklahoma right up into lower Michigan. And there will be pockets that we tallied up to 5 to 8 inches of rain. So when it all comes down, if it's too much at once, it will cause flooding and flash flooding. Streams and creeks are already running high here. That will be something to watch right through the entire week. We've got that risk of thunderstorms out there getting right through the weekend. When we add up all the rainfall that we're going to get this weekend, over 15 trillion gallons of rain expected. It's hard to even fathom that, right? I mean, look at all the states that are going to be affected by rain, especially, of course, across the Mississippi Valley and up into the Midwest and into the plains. But we'll get some rain in the Northeast. Some of this in Colorado and Wyoming will fall as snow. We got a lot going on here this weekend weather-wise. Already starting the day with some thunderstorms out there right across Nebraska. We can see that. Some showers also into parts of Missouri. This is nothing compared to what we're going to see. We're going to get going with thunderstorms continuing to ramp up through the day, especially into the evening here. And then we will see just an ongoing rounds of rain, rounds of thunderstorms events for us right here through parts of the Midwest. All right, so Kansas City for you. You start the day with a little rain in the area, then we get a break, but then you see how things redevelop getting into the evening. St. Louis by evening, the chance for some showers. Indy as well, you've got that chance. And then we start to get things going overnight tonight. There could be severe weather here in Oklahoma. We will again watch Kansas City. Now we'll be on round 2 getting into early tomorrow morning. St. Louis will be on round 2 and 3 and 4 and even 5. I mean, it's one right after another. So very busy pattern when it comes to the storms. Severe weather is also going to be a concern as well as we get you into the next 24 hours. And I know behind me you see the snow. We'll talk more about that and get to your detailed forecast, but that could cause some travel issues, especially because of the timing of when it's coming down. We'll get to the snow. Let's focus in on the storms. And we've got storms in Springfield, Missouri starting tonight, continuing tomorrow and tomorrow night, and still on Sunday, the chance for storms. When the low pulls through, finally, you will get a break from the rainfall and temperatures will cool down. There'll be a big difference, but it's really going to take all weekend to get there. Closer look at Springfield. You guys could see 5 to 6 inches of rain. Big wet weekend here. All right, let's go coast to coast right now with your weather headlines. In Houston, Texas, at least one Archer Friday, a stormy one on tap, although maybe a lot of today might be okay. It's really by later today and tonight that we get these storms going in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kentucky, Indiana. Tomorrow, just a mess of rain plus snow coming into Colorado and northern New Mexico. Hot in the east. Look at New York City, 85 degrees. D.C., we're going to be hot in the 90s likely. You start to cool down a bit in the northeast on Sunday. Rain starts to push your way into Pittsburgh and Cleveland, but look look at all this rain and possible severe weather. And what this map doesn't show you is just how much rainfall there is going to be. Inches, 5 to 7 inches of rain coming our way. And coming up, the severe threat stretched into the weekend, including the possibility of tornadoes. So you're not the only spot under a flash flood watch here. There's lots of company in that regard. We got Little Rock, Paducah, St. Louis, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and all spots in between. All this area in green under a flash flood watch. And I think as we go through the weekend, there certainly is a chance that could be expanded because we've got a large area, large footprint of big rainfall. Here's our jet stream pattern. Two things I need to point out. One, you see this big ridge over the east. This is why it's going to be so hot in the east. D.C., New York City, Atlanta, Savannah, all going to be very hot. But as that ridge shifts just a little bit to the east, this big trough is going to keep on digging. That's why you're going to be getting snow in Colorado. It's all related. It's also why we're going to get stuck with heavy rain right in the middle of it. This is a stuck pattern. It's a slow moving pattern, and it's going to mean that lots of moisture comes into play and doesn't have anywhere to go, but hits this front, is forced to rise. And when you get air rising, you get clouds and you get showers, you get thunderstorms, and that's what's going to happen right here into the weekend. So where exactly this front sets up will help focus on where some of the heaviest of rain will be, but there'll be a large area of rain with some embedded very heavy thunderstorms. Watching for today, we'll see some showers out there right through the upper Midwest, continuing overnight tonight and tomorrow. All of this red zone area, we could see severe weather, damaging winds, large hail. That might be the biggest threat, but also the isolated tornado risk as well. Indianapolis, Paducah, back towards Memphis and Little Rock. We got 3 days of these thunderstorms, or at least 2.5 when you add it all up. So watching for this continuing into Sunday, just a large area still of rain still in the forecast, and we'll get some of that cooler air to push out into parts of the high plains and maybe bringing in a rain snow mix there. That won't be, I think, a big issue for you in the high plains. What will be the biggest issue will be the rain, and we've got 5 to 8 inches of rain. Look at this big footprint of very heavy rainfall all across much of Arkansas, southern and central Missouri, into a good chunk of Illinois, getting into Indiana, even up into Michigan. We could see more than 3 to 5 inches of rainfall, especially across the western part of the state. So a factor that we got to watch for the potential of flash flooding is that the ground is already saturated. We just had a big rain event this week. Everything is supposed to be very slow moving with this kind of pattern we're in, right? The big ridge to the east, the trough to the west, just getting stuck with that in between. And with that stall boundary in place, we're going to be looking at potential heavy rainfall and flooding. Plus, by the way, the amount of moisture in the atmosphere is at record levels. This is even high for what you might expect in the summertime. So that's going to be another piece to the puzzle.